Hello, welcome back. It's more '06 stuff. We made it. King of the Ring. Puddy, how you doing?
King of the Ring. I'm doing great. I This has been a really fun tournament. This was one of the bigger concerted efforts I think for the save so far. Not only did I have to do the usual, find some tournament fixtures and kind of line them up so that there was some stakes,
Yeah.
but also I tried to put some effort into making this seem like a very sort of American tournament, um, to hopefully make it go down a little better stateside. So yeah, I was looking forward to this for a while. I was also kind of dreading it for a while, but I think it's turned out okay.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Just hold on here. I'm just grabbing the King of the Ring fixtures because I think we might as well show them off.
Yeah.
Apologies,
So
folks. This
while
might
you
be
get those, I can go through the format if that's useful.
sure, sure. I'm like, apologies, folks. This might be terrible for half a second. It is. It's fine.
On each of the brands, we had a 9 wrestler conference where each wrestler would fight each other wrestler once across the matches. So we'd have 4 matches per round essentially, with one bye because it was a 9 person conference. The top 2 wrestlers from each conference went through to the semifinals here. The first tiebreaker, so obviously it was record based, and then the first tiebreaker was head to head. But this table that Tucker is showing right now doesn't have the head to head sorting. It's just sorted based on wins and losses.
Yeah. So, what you believe you would be looking at is our top four, right? Right. It's the top four
Right.
guys. They've all made it clearly. But no, that's not true. There's 2 spots for Raw, 2 spots for SmackDown. So if you take your eyes from Triple H and just a little bit lower, it's Gregory Helms who's made it here with Booker T, Rene Dupree, and John Cena.
Gregory Helms actually finished top of the SmackDown conference because when broken down into the 2 conferences and sorted by the head to head record, Gregory Helms actually beat Booker. So Helms actually finished top of the conference and will be facing Raw's second place finisher, Rene Dupree.
Yeah. You can see the other results here. The people who didn't do as well. The people who didn't make the final cut. Batista here, you'll note, is in a very different color. You like that zoom in? Yeah.
It's something.
It looks pretty good on the YouTube. I'll just say.
Okay. All right. Great.
Putty, what happened to Batista here? Why is he in red? What's going on?
Well, he had a quite insane series of matches. Here is actually one of the areas where, if you have it handy, the SmackDown head to head table would be somewhat useful.
Oh, yup. Hold. Hold. Keep
Batista
holding.
did fight his first 3 matches, and they were blockbuster. He fought Rene Dupree, Rey Mysterio, um, Gregory Helms, and Finley. Oh, I was more talking about the head to head
Up. Up.
results
Up.
table.
Ignore that. Yep.
That is you. I mean, that will be useful. You don't need to ignore it, but yeah, yeah.
Give me one more second, everybody. Two dot JPEG. I have to file it, or else I can't access it. I can't pull it up.
I see.
This should be it. Yes, it is.
There we go. Perfect. So yeah, you can see here Batista ended up fighting Ray, and he lost. Do you want to talk about that match? That's been a storyline that's been going on. That's been ongoing now for quite a while, and has very much been your passion project.
Yeah, Ray and Dave have been up and down. Their tag team title reign strained their relationship pretty badly. But for the most part, they've landed on their feet. This King of the Ring match was going to be another test of that. I think both of them knew that going in. And it did end up being a test of their friendship, I guess. When Ray beat Batista, Batista had been taking a lot of high profile losses at the time. It was right to kick off the tournament. Not the way that you want to start out And Batista at first, it didn't look like he was going to. Oh, shit! I just realized. Yeah, my face cam covered part of it. Oh God, I gotta keep that in mind. Okay. Sorry, YouTube guys. Um, but yeah, it looked like Batista was gonna take the loss pretty poorly. He had basically walked out on Rey Mysterio after Rey Mysterio offered to shake his hand as a good sign of respect. But Batista eventually did make it back into the ring. He came back, um, not shaking Rey Mysterio's hand, instead hugging him. Um, those two find a way. They just
Yeah.
find a way.
And then, of course, Batista goes on to a very shocking result, I would say, against Gregory Helms, because
Killed him.
at the time, yeah, well, I mean, he did. At the time, Gregory Helms had made his way into the tournament by actually beating Batista in a very close match where there were a lot of mitigating circumstances. But in all credit, Gregory Helms won the match. He had come into the tournament as a world cruiserweight champion. He'd been cruiserweight champion since last year's SummerSlam. He's almost been a year-long reign where he's beaten multiple generations of cruiserweights. The names are incredible. We're looking at Chavo Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Tajiri, Elix Skipper, Miggy Rojo, Scotty Taylor, R-Truth, and Jushin Thunder Liger. I'm sure I've missed some there, but that is a who's who of lightweight wrestling. And go ahead.
A couple other names they go off the top of my head.
Sure.
Kid Cash, Jamie Noble. I think that might be the majority of the cruiserweights.
No doubt about it. Gregory Helms on a roll, one of the best in the world right now. But the question always was whether he could compete with the heavyweights. But we weren't really thinking about that going into this Batista match because he had seemed to be in his element. But for Helms, this was a rough loss. Like, it was almost immediate. And it looked like, one, Helms may have gone a little bit, beyond his means. But two, that Batista was going to steamroll through a large portion of this tournament. Now that Rey was out of the way, he was back on track. And indeed, he managed to win his third match against Finlay. But that match, that victory did not come without cost, as it was brutal, it was violent, and unfortunately during that match, Batista suffered a tear in his right knee that did not necessarily requires surgery, but he wouldn't be cleared to wrestle for the rest of the year, and so he's chosen to take surgery on the knee in order to hopefully speed up the recovery and make it a little bit more, a bit stronger, and hopefully he can get back in the ring quicker. But certainly he wasn't able to finish the King of the Ring tournament, so the rest of the matches were forfeited. That meant that, so just so people know, because there's two ways of doing it, the people that hadn't fought Batista yet would not be getting any points for the Batista matches, any wins for the Batista matches. They would just not happen, which definitely changed the landscape of the tournament. Is that forfeit spelt right? That's a very strange looking word.
It's not. I don't think I noticed that. I was like, I think it's spelt wrong. Oh well. Anything else you want to talk about here on this?
It is spelt right, That is a weird fucking word. It's
Well,
because it's weird, Tucker. There's
is.
an E and an I in there.
For fate.
Yeah. Feitard.
Anything else you want to talk about here on the SmackDown side?
Well, there's obviously a ton of crazy results. I don't want to go into all of them. But
yeah, the people can see them.
Yeah.
They're available on twitch.tv/Matsudiro. Thank you.
That is also true. Yeah, I don't think we need to go into all of them. I mean, maybe one thing to say is that on the final night, which by the way was only 2 days ago, because we had a live USA Network SmackDown 2 days ago, where the final night of the conference was decided. Shelton Benjamin took on Gregory Helms, and Chavo Guerrero took on Booker T. And in both of those matches, whoever won was going through to this night. So we could have had a very different looking show tonight if those results had gone the other way.
Perfect. Let me pull up the Raw side really quick. Do we want to run through that real quick? Why not?
Sure. Yeah. I'm down for whatever.
All right.
I'm down to show as much of this tournament on screen as you think people need to know what's happening.
Right on. Might as well, right?
Also, I guess worth mentioning, because I don't think we'll have the time to go through it, a lot of these matches did incredibly well in the game. This product seems pretty hot right now.
Yeah, the product's on fire. So here's our Raw side.
a lot more traditional thanks to Batista not being
Yeah,
injured.
I was gonna say no
But
Batista. So
I think immediately worth mentioning that Dean Malenko dropped every match.
Malenko. Yeah, no, that's not his name. I'll tell you that. But somebody who did see his own name a lot is John Cena.
Yeah, yeah,
John Cena, who went 8-0.
incredible.
A cat wants to leave the room mid YouTube episode.
Are you gonna let him?
Yeah,
Her?
probably. It's King of the Ring, man. Come on, this is like a C show.
Wow.
Get up and just like walk away.
Wow. C show, he says. You know, this Tucker guy was trying to get me to downgrade this to a throwaway event at some point.
All right, so yeah, you can see the Raw table here. We talked about Cena. We talked about Malenko, the two extremes.
Yeah.
Did Dean Malenko's presence in this tournament allow Cena to go 8-0?
I doubt it. It's one match, right?
You're right, yeah. I don't really know why I was thinking that. There was something in my brain that was like, well, if Malenko dropped every match, that would mean Cena won every match, but
it just sort of bumps everyone else up, right? You know, you feel like it's the guys who, you know, were won 3 matches here, you know, with Malenko not there. Maybe, you know, in a SmackDown block, which was more competitive, they would have only won 2, for example, I think is the way to look at it, perhaps.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a bit harsh on Dean Malenko. This is a tough block.
Oh, yeah. No. Like, Malenko is older. I think north of 45 now. So obviously there's that to account for. His stamina probably isn't phenomenal compared to everybody else. So as the tournament goes on, he's probably dropping some matches that maybe he wouldn't have. He was retired for a number of years as well before he came back out of retirement in 2004 to join the Cabinet. There's a lot of different things I think that go into this aside from just LOL Dean Malenko bad. To a certain degree, I think Dean Malenko is a little bit lower than most of the other guys here. But I say that knowing that he didn't beat anybody. If he had beaten, you know, if he had gotten wins against Nitro, Lashley, Haas, maybe even, you know, Renee or Jericho or something like that, Big Show, Cena, Triple H, bit of a tier up, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I feel you.
Malenko probably could have eked out a win against any of these guys, and if he did, that's obviously not a 0, and we're probably talking about him a little bit differently.
I think that most of that's fair. One thing I'll say kind of tangentially to move on to another point is I wouldn't put RSD in that category. I mean, you look at those results. He beat everybody that wasn't John Cena, who everybody lost to, or Chris Jericho, who he's had problems beating in the past. He beat Triple H, the Big Show, and everybody else in the tournament. RSD has been on fire, and that's the reason why he's made it through to the semifinals tonight.
Yeah, another big reason he made it through is this matchup you're looking at right here. The RSD Triple H match did go to RSD, which meant on the final day when these two were tied at 6 wins each, it is Renee who goes through. And yeah, that's what we've already covered.
Triple H could have gone through regardless if he had managed to get the job done against John Cena. But that obviously is not a position you want to put yourself in. So, unfortunate.
All right, perfect. I think we're ready to do King of the Ring.
Yeah, I think so. I think one last. I know you already plugged it already, but I think it's worth mentioning that we say this on every show that you can't, you know, you're gonna miss some stuff if you don't watch the Twitch VODs. But in this tournament specifically, you can see it was so vast, and not all of it even made it onto TV.
Yeah, no.
So if you want to check it out, you can check out the Twitch VODs. But also, if anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to know, you can leave them in the comments, and I'm sure one of us would be more than happy to answer any queries or questions you do have. Also, before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to Biggest Dickus Maximus III, one of our tier 3 patrons over on Patreon. And if you're interested in those kind of benefits, the link is in the description.
Perfect. We are in Madison Square Garden in New York, New York.
The world's most famous arena.
Yeah, we're live on USA Network in America, Eurosport over the pond, on pay-per-view everywhere else.
Yep.
Gonna make you pay for it. Um, yeah, without further ado, let's just hop into it.
Let's fucking do it.
The Turtle brand, the unkillable ideal. They will make money in spite of you. Then, now, and forever. King of the Ring intro. Just some highlights from the tournament. Stuff we basically just covered. Show some cool things happening.
Absolutely.
We've got our commentary booth here locked in. It's Raw's Jim Ross, SmackDown's Michael Cole, and the unaffiliated, for now, William Regal.
Who is still on the sidelines, unfortunately, due to injury.
Yeah.
But what is not broken is his voice.
True. Just don't shine any lights at him. That would be really bad. We've got our all-star panel. It's Amy Weber, our host, Steve Austin, and they will be joined by numerous guests throughout the program. To kick us off tonight, we've got the King himself, Jerry Lawler, and maybe the Queen, Trish Stratus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the women's champion. Yeah. We're gonna, Amy's gonna introduce the show and say, "Welcome to the King of the Ring finals tonight." We're gonna find out who the best tournament wrestler in the WWE is. Steve, what do you think?
What
does Steve Austin think?
Yeah, Steve Austin says that, he's won King of the Ring before. He won it, it was really one of the first marks of success in his WWE career. Really helped him get the ball rolling, obviously.
That iconic 316 promo was at King of the Ring, right?
Yeah, but you go down the names of the former King of the Ring winners. Edge, Steve Austin, Triple H. This is the type of tournament that if you win it, you are a big deal, or you will be a big deal. It's only time dependent. Regardless of whoever wins tonight, it's going to be a big result. What the hell is that? Oh, somebody's weed whacking outside. Oh my god, I thought there was like a creature attacking. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Trish Stratus though. She has a title match, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we talk about that though, which I definitely want to, I want to just mention that Jerry Lawler will probably be asked about his thoughts tonight, maybe leading on from the Steve Austin thing. And I think Lawler would say, as someone who has front row seats to the show every week, that we're talking about four guys here who are on the precipice of greatness. Right? Rene Sebastian Dupree had this incredible Intercontinental Championship run last year. He has been on the verge of being a world champion for a long time now. If he wins this tournament, he goes to SummerSlam and he can fight for the world title again. And Jerry thinks with the form he's in that might be his first world title win. Meanwhile, John Cena is arguably one of the most exciting prospects in the history of pro wrestling right now. He obviously was world champion for a very long time. He's not world champion right now. This would be a step back to the world title. More importantly, though, this would be a kind of cementing Cena's legacy. And I think it would be a real stamp on him as being one of the greatest of all time. Over on SmackDown, you got Gregory Helms being Cruiserweight champion for almost a year in incredible form. And Booker T, who's been there and done it all. But he's missing one block to his legacy as well. And yeah, Trish, you got a title match tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Trish Stratus has got to take on Tori Wilson again. It's a rematch. She's looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good contest. She's looking to see if Tori has improved again.
Awesome.
We get coverage of Booker T's road to the semifinals. Booker T's road has not been what can I say? It's not been everybody's road.
No.
Booker T has gone out of his way to make this
yeah.
the hardest it possibly can be. You can see Mark Henry there on the screen. We're going to show some footage of the match that you guys saw on our last episode, that Punjabi prison match,
Yep.
the brutal affair, Booker T picking up the victory, and then of course his numerous tournament wins, right? Like he's
Yeah. In terms of what's made it so grueling, immediately following that Punjabi prison match, the next SmackDown show, Shelton Benjamin was given the night off because he had fought a grueling match with Randy Orton. Booker was given that same opportunity, but Booker declined.
yeah,
Booker instead decided to fight against Rey Mysterio. What's interesting about that is that even though he did that, he got his match against Rey out of the way, where otherwise it would have had to have been postponed. He still ended up with a pileup at the end of the tournament where he had the most matches to play in the last kind of 9 days of the tournament. So imagine what kind of pileup it would have been if he hadn't got that Rey Mysterio match out of the way. But even then, we're talking about a guy who went to the Punjabi prison, had to fight Rey Mysterio and win 5 days later. And then in the last 9 days of the tournament, he had to fight Chavo Guerrero on the last day, I think. But he also had to fight like Shelton Benjamin the week before. Booker T has, and then he's here tonight, 2 days after fighting Chavo. This man has not had a rest. He's not had a break. And look, he's an amazing athlete, but there's no doubt he's not as young as he once was. And I think, I've been thinking this for a while. He's going to run out of road, but tonight he's going to have to do a lot if he's not going to run out of road. He's facing John Cena.
Yeah, Booker T has certainly made a run here of defying expectations, beating the odds. The odds are 8-0. Let's see if he can beat him this time.
But I was told numbers lie.
That's true. Numbers do lie. What if I said it in Triple H's voice? Is that more believable?
Yeah.
Yeah, and backstage, Booker T's amped up. He's ready to go. Sharmel's there with him. He's locked the hell in. Johnny Ace, he's outside.
This was earlier tonight while the fans were queuing up.
Yeah, they're all waiting to get in the arena, and Johnny Ace is gonna talk to some of them, try to get their picks. It's lots of people just yelling obscenities, probably. Johnny Ace going, "Oh, that's not very nice. Don't think I can air that."
It's a good thing this isn't live.
Oh God, they're saying bad words to me, Vince. What do I do? Yeah. In the ring, or not in the ring,
ringside.
Ringside. Yeah. He's in the ring. He crawls in for some reason. Todd Grisham, he's got the fan poll results for the MVP of the tournament, I believe, right?
No, this is the fans' pick for who's going to win this first semi-final.
Oh, I see.
It's heavily weighted in John Cena's favor.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Speaking of John Cena, he's absolutely torn his way to this event, as we've already seen. He's gone toe-to-toe with some of the absolute top guys on his brand, and he has every single time fired back, fired up, fired on, fired through, and who's gonna stop him? Who's gonna stop him?
Well, 3 men are going to try tonight.
Is those 3?
It's not those 3. Well, it's one of those 3. Rene Dupree, Gregory Helms, but first up, it's Booker T.
Well, that's only like 2 guys then, right? He doesn't have to like.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 guys, but it's 2 from 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because, Rene or Gregory Helms is going to stop him.
Whatever you say, tournament man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, John Cena, he's on his way to the ring. It's time.
It's almost time. Oh yeah, one thing I want to mention as well to kind of give the vibe of what's been going on. Pretty much since the show has started, we've had in the bottom right corner like 30 minutes till semifinal 1 or whatever. So we got a little countdown to the match going on, and well, got about 5 minutes left on that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to say this or not, but I want to bring it up because it's a cool, like, I don't know, thing. It's worth mentioning, I feel like.
Right.
There are other matches happening. We're just not showing them. The live crowd is not just sitting here waiting around.
Indeed.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Got a bunch of dark matches for Madison Square Garden that aren't being broadcast at the moment. Yeah, for sure.
Is this it? Is this the one?
I think we head back to the panel.
We do. It's Teddy Long, playa. How does Teddy Long
Uh,
feel about Booker T's chances here?
yeah, they're gonna ask him about these guys, and he's gonna say, "Hey, I've been watching Booker T now for better part of the last 2 years, and he's a strange guy. You know, he came over here, and you could tell he wasn't comfortable, and he wasn't really liking what we were trying to do over there on SmackDown. Um, but I find in this business you treat people fair, and eventually they come around to you, and that's exactly what's happened with Booker T. And he seems to have found a good place here on SmackDown, and he seems to be enjoying himself. Of course, there's some strange stuff that happened at the start of the year. I don't really want to go into it, but right now, I don't think anybody can deny that he's a tough son of a bitch. Um, but I also know a lot about John Cena. I got to watch him sort of grow and mature into the man he is today, and I know how good he is. And I have to say, I think we're looking at. I think we may well be looking at sort of a final before the final here, because these two are very evenly matched, and I think it's going to be a very exciting match. But if I were you, I would keep an eye on Gregory Helms, because I think he might be SmackDown's hidden gem.
Here we go.
9-0. Oh my god.
Not quite. 8-1. 17 and a half minutes ends. Booker T hits the bookend. Pins John Cena. Probably the biggest win of Booker's time with us. Yeah, I think it definitely is at this point. Obviously, that could all change if he finishes out the rest of the tournament. He's only got one more match left, I guess. You're right.
Listen to this, by the way. Because Booker never got to fight Batista, Booker has only lost one match in this tournament. If Booker wins the final, he will also be 8-1.
Yes, let's go.
Rene Dupree can also get to 8 wins for what it's worth, but he'll be 8-2 if that happens.
One loss more than John Cena, who's not even going to make the final here. Interesting.
That is true. I mean, John Cena was always going to be towards the top end of the records because of the 8-0, but
yeah,
I'm genuinely shocked. And you gotta, I mean, maybe these aren't questions for tonight, but maybe just to throw it out there real quick, John Cena is picking up some rough losses over the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's something that it's interesting. To a certain degree in these types of sports, right? Dudes can get in their own head, and we clearly haven't seen that with John Cena. He's operating still on a great level, 8-0, but on these bigger stage matches, count 2 title matches and now this one for a big spot in the absolute King of the Ring final. I don't know if it's like just a mental thing. Maybe things just aren't bouncing his way right now. I don't know if maybe it's just a bad matchup. I don't know. If I recall correctly, Booker and Cena have some history together. Like
I think they fought over the United States Championship a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think one thing to mention as well is the format. Our final tonight is going to be best 2 out of 3 falls. This was one fall to a finish, and this is professional wrestling. Anything can happen over the course of a match. This is why sometimes the most skill-intensive formats are either round robin or double elimination, or a series like we're going to have tonight, the best of 3. And that's not anything to take away from Booker, who, this sort of format tests a certain kind of resolve. You've always got to be out of it. We're here in knockout wrestling now. You lose, you go home. And unfortunately for John, he was a victim of that. But I think we should turn the focus onto the other guy and say that Booker T, like you said, a career-defining victory here. But there's something to be said for not many people remember the second place finisher. So regardless of beating John Cena tonight, Booker's got another job to do.
That's true. And I think it's interesting for this big of a win to come at this point in Booker's career, right? Booker's I think 41. Most of his high level success was done in WCW.
Yep.
Maybe recapturing that form a little bit. Maybe I don't necessarily know. He's a little bit slower than he was. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he's worked in power moves, I guess. Really, right? That's what Booker did. He worked in power moves as he got a little bit more limited mobility wise, and that kind of allowed him to stay up near the top. And who
There's no
knows?
substitute for experience as well.
Yeah,
Once you've
for
been in a
sure.
situation and you can take a step back and say, okay, I lost because this happened. Like I mean, everybody experiences if you've ever done something competitive. When you see a situation for the third, the fourth time, you handle it so much better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think, John Cena, for as great as he is still considerably fresher in the business than Booker T. Booker T's probably seen everything at this point. It's hard to
Yeah,
do that in pro wrestling, but pretty close.
I want to say Booker and his brother Stevie Ray debuted all the way back in like '89 or something like that. Um, which yeah, it's a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So, George, just one last comment because it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
triggered in my head.
Go ahead.
If we're putting a lot of emphasis on the experience here, regardless of who goes through in the other final semifinal, Booker's going to have the edge on experience.
Yeah, all these other guys are young.
Yeah, I mean Gregory Helms has been around a while, but compared to Booker T, he's still a little bit wet behind the ears. And Rene Dupree, I mean, he's still 22 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be Rene Dupree is like 6 years older than Booker T's wrestling career.
So yeah, after the match, Josh Matthews comes down to the ring, and he puts a microphone in John Cena's face, and he says, "John, how do you feel about all this that just went down?"
John's gonna look tentatively, clearly taken a bit aback by this, and isn't super comfortable. He's got this weird, very non-John Cena-like thing of not really wanting to look at the camera or look Josh in the eyes. And then he goes to leave without saying anything, and he kind of stops himself and says, "The Bear Man won. Congratulations, Booker." And then he does leave.
Back up to the panel. Let's talk about what the hell just happened.
I think they probably just say what we've been saying. For
Yeah,
the last
John Cena's gone.
You had something for Teddy, right?
Yeah, this whole thing just got blown up. Teddy Long looks absolutely pumped. Booker T pulled off a humongous upset, and when Gregory Helms wins later on tonight, and what's not an upset, all SmackDown final, baby. The crown's coming home. The crown's coming home.
Jerry Lawler can kind of complain that Teddy's here supporting his boys, but I don't see Coach or Vince anywhere.
Yeah, Jerry would be like, "Hey, I'm a Raw commentator. You don't see me doing this, all right? Have some professionalism, Teddy. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah,
we're puppies.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So over came the ring. As we've said, a number of these matches haven't even been on our TV shows, haven't even been on Twitch. They've been run on house shows, etc., and we've got some big highlights from that. Any matches, especially, you can think of to point out, Puddy? I know that
Shelton Benjamin versus Booker T.
I was gonna say Shelton Benjamin, World Heavyweight Champion Shelton Benjamin versus Booker T. I know Chris Jericho tore it down, as did Rey Mysterio. Charlie Haas was getting a lot of good reactions. Dean Malenko lost a bunch.
Yeah, Charlie did quite well. He ended up on the same record as The Big Show and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, which, I mean, compare sizes real quick, right? Like,
yeah,
just he has to fight those other two guys. They don't have to fight themselves.
Well, they do have to fight each other.
That's true, but I mean, Big Show doesn't have to deal with the Big Show. That's more or less what I'm pointing out.
That's a big advantage for sure. I think that's also a huge advantage for Cena, by the way. If John Cena had to fight John Cena, I don't think he would have gone 8-0.
Yeah, who would win, John Cena or John Cena? Ooh.
Either way, I think John Cena's taking the L.
Unfortunately. We have the King of the Ring panel back together. But Teddy Long is gone. Somebody finally came and got him. His biased ass. And we brought in Rey Mysterio.
The fans MVP, as he's presented with an award. And I've just realized something.
Yeah.
And we're okay to like not rebook this, but if you want to go with it, I have a on the fly angle here.
Okay.
Ray's going to graciously accept the award, say, he didn't end up getting quite the results he wanted, but he's still really happy with the tournament. He's concerned for his friend Dave, but after that's all sorted, he's hoping to take the momentum forward, and he thanks the fans. But then I'm saying that we should have Montel Vontavious Porter appear and take umbrage with the fact that Ray's been voted the MVP because he's MVP.
That's pretty great. It's a little unfortunate you pitched it on a YouTube episode, because what I'm about to say is, what if we saved it for SmackDown?
I like it. If you want to see that angle and what results from it, why don't you check out the Twitch bots?
What I thought you were going to do, and I will pitch this also on.
Okay, I'm listening.
Is Rey Mysterio can say that it's a fantastic honor to be voted. I was gonna say to be elected. To be voted the fans MVP of the tournament, but this award should be going to Dave Bautista, who
I like it.
Found a way to power through a terrible injury and win his final match. And when I see Dave next, I might give this to him. I don't know.
I like that.
I also like Ray being like, I don't know. I kind of like it, but I might give it to him.
I got a bunch of awards.
Yeah, I got a lot of awards lately, so I don't know. We've got Renee Sebastian Dupree's path to the finals, narrated by Paul Heyman. Puddy, what do you got on Renee?
Paul's gonna really yuck it up, really turn this into sort of a fable as Renee's path to the final, as he defeated pretty much all Raw had to offer, with the exception of Chris Jericho, and that score I'm sure is to be settled one day, because those two have had quite the rivalry. And John Cena, who Renee can, one, be forgiven for losing to, and two, John Cena's not in the tournament anymore. No. Neither is Chris Jericho. So Renee is in quite the spot here. And he managed to get the job done on the last night, beating his opponent and putting all the pressure on, but still people didn't think he was going to get through. He was sat there in second for the first time in the tournament, and people still doubted him. But at the end of the night, Paul always knew it was going to be Rene Dupree coming here to the main event, because Paul always picks the right horse. Like Rob Van Dam, the WWE champion.
Exactly. Backstage, we see Renee's little camp that has come together to watch and support him through the King of the Ring tournament. Paul Heyman, Stevie Richards, and the WWE champion Rob Van Dam.
An uneasy alliance of sorts between Renee and Rob, who have their differences. But tonight, it's clear that the message is clear that this is all about Renee.
We see Gregory Helms' path to the final got down early.
Mm-hmm.
Real big early. I think he was 0-2, which there was a lot of concern that 0-2 might be enough to end your tournament.
Yeah.
Especially,
there are guys who took 2 losses who are out right now.
Yeah. So I guess, by all rights and means, essentially Gregory Helms should have been out. But what the hell can I even say? This dude went on one of the greatest runs I've seen from especially a cruiserweight wrestler continuously competing with heavyweight guys. And that was a question that was had very early on after that Batista loss. The general feeling was that, oh shit, maybe Greg is bit off a little more than he can chew here. He's going to put up a fantastic showing against the other cruiserweight participants, but against the heavyweights, he might be a little overmatched. But no dice.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, one, I think we've seen Gregory Helms reach another level in this tournament. You know, we've talked about this on SmackDown a lot over the last couple of months. These guys finding that next level, but with Gregory Helms has been interesting because there's a clear indication of where it's coming from. You know, he's been training with Ken Shamrock. That's been really important for him. He's getting another perspective. He's getting a lot of experience and a lot of information and a lot of advice, and that's been huge for him. But also, we saw kind of when he started to make that comeback that the fans on SmackDown were starting to support him in a way that he really had never seen before, outside of maybe some time as a superhero, which is a very different kind of way to live.
It's a very different time in Gregory Helms' life, I'll say.
Yeah. And then, you know, Ken Shamrock, again, this is why having somebody like Ken Shamrock support you through a tournament like this is so important, because Gregory Helms, you know, he's had to learn, he's kind of been the bad guy here for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, cruiserweight champion for a year, target on your back. He's had to learn how to shut all of that off and focus. And sometimes that's really important. But that would have led to him losing something, I think, in this tournament if it wasn't for Shamrock stepping in and saying, hey, go to your people, you know, be with them. And from that moment onwards, we've seen Helms kind of harness that energy. The fans are behind him. The crowd is behind him. He's come back, like you said, from 0-2. And we talked about whether he could hang with the heavyweights. Faced Chavo Guerrero, a great sort of example of a guy kind of moving between those two divisions. He then faced Booker T, an elite and experienced heavyweight. And then on the last night of the tournament, he faced the world heavyweight champion. And not only did he go through from the conference, he topped it. He's the SmackDown King of the Ring champion.
That he is. Something that I was thinking of there with Helms, right? As he's played into this crowd support a little bit, you know what I mean? Really embraced this whole thing. And his high-flying offense has kind of come back out. I've got to wonder if that has helped him actually combat the heavyweight guys. Because if you think about what Gregory Helms was doing before this King of the Ring tournament, right? He more or less was strikes and grappling for the most part, right? Like kicks and grappling. But going to that high flying stuff that he used to do as a younger man, I think it probably has to be pointed at as one of the major reasons why he's been able to have success against the heavyweights now. Like, it's the big change, right? Like, unless it's literally just Gregory Helms figured it out, you know what I mean? He's just.
Well, I also do think a lot, like, so much of sport is mental, and that extra kind of gain he has from just having sort of the crowd behind him, having that home advantage, has been huge. And the question, of course, the question tonight is, and look, I'm expecting it to be the case, but is he going to have that tonight? Big arena, big stage. I mean, you know, this is an interesting kind of minor thing. I'm not sure whether this would actually be said on the product, but I'll put it out there. Raw gets easily 8,000 to 9,000 more people every week than SmackDown does. Does that give the SmackDown guys a bit of a disadvantage? Is it a bit of a step up to perform in front of 20,000 people? Is it going to be the case maybe that he can't quite carry that energy like he can on SmackDown? Renee's more used to it, and then also Renee's got his supporters. Renee might be supported tonight inside the arena.
Both in and out of the roster, he has his supporters. Yeah. We get our King of the Ring panel back together. Taz has swapped out Jerry Lawler, and he invents a new catchphrase.
Oh shit!
I don't have one. Whatever.
Maybe something to do with the fans being behind someone, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he's got a folksy way of saying the fans are really behind Gregory Helms.
I was like, just take another fucking, like, SmackDown 2 soundbite. Just be like, the fans are really behind Dean Malenko. The fans love Gregory Helms.
I like the first. I like that, just the idea of going really like big and saying, guys, the fans are really behind Gregory Helms. I mean, you gotta respect it.
Perfect. Yeah, they've got DMLS out here, and I think they're talking about their tournament, right?
Talking about the tournament, I also like to think that, bridging off what we said, maybe Amy can ask them if they've ever experienced that sort of next level coming from having the fans behind them, and they can kind of awkwardly be like, "No."
Yeah,
uh,
I
but
I
yeah,
would
I think
actually maybe like play into that a little bit, and Arn could like fire off some lines or something.
sure, you got any?
Yeah, like you listen here, little lady. But what we do here, you're right.
Mm.
It might not be the type of thing that gets everybody out of their seats. It's not the type of thing that gets everybody cheering and chanting and raving, but it gets things done. And that's ultimately the goal, right? And I think at the end of the day, people can look at what we do and the excellence that we preach and the excellence that we strive for, and that's the thing to be cheered. It's not any individual move in the ring or some guy is doing some flashy shit that's entertaining to you. That's fine. What's entertaining to me is professional wrestlers who are the best at their craft, who want to be the best, who work hard every single day, show up every single week with the absolute best on their mind, and they try their absolute damnedest to get the job done. How's that for crowd support?
Love it. And then I think also, I don't know if that could go before or after, but maybe he could be like, let's talk brass tacks here. What's really going to make the difference in this match? And he can talk about maybe one or two moves, holds
Yeah.
that are going to make the difference.
Yeah.
And I think it's time.
It is indeed time.
But unfortunately, it's not time for Gregory Helms.
It is
who
not
is defeated.
that time, no.
Yeah.
But it is nap time. Ha ha. Loire Valley Clutch.
Rene Dupree gets it done again.
So we have our final. It's Rene Sebastian Dupree, Booker T.
Rene Dupree, we talked about it earlier, 22 years of age, I think. I'm actually going to confirm that because it's a line I've used a few times now. Let me check how old this man actually is. Rene is 22 years of age and in a King of the Ring final.
What's even more remarkable about that is that when you consider this as a what the hell are we calling it? It happens every 4 years. I don't fucking know.
A quad annual. I think there's a way of adding those words together.
Wouldn't quad annual be 4 times a year? No, it wouldn't be. I don't know. Either which way.
I think, if I remember correctly, those words can be used interchangeably because I know a lot of people use like bi-weekly to refer to every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
also twice a week. So
Yep.
I think you can just swap those. But I think you're right
Fair.
that it could mean 4 times a year.
But
at that point, there is another word called quarterly. So I'm gonna.
True. Yeah.
yeah.
My point, nonetheless, was the thing that makes it even more impressive about Rene being here so young is that the next time it comes around, he'll be 26, 27. It just kind of happens wherever those 4 years land. You know what I mean? Just so happens Rene's very young, very good.
It's that thing, right? You know, we look at it. I'm not sure if many other sports have these massive 4 yearly tournaments, but like it's the same with the World Cup. You know, sometimes you have this great generation that hits their peak, and there's just not a World Cup for 2 years, and so you just kind of miss out on that. And it's the same thing here. I mean, you think about it, like John Cena just went out tonight, and obviously he had his chance, but like John Cena, and if this had happened in 2002, 2004. Like we would have seen a young and hungry John Cena, and I think we've seen with Rene getting all the way to the final that sometimes that's important, you know. And Rene hasn't gone 8-0 here, so he's had to work for it, and I think that's got to feed that hunger, and that hunger has to be the benefit of inexperience of youth. I think, right, is that you just want it so bad. Like Booker T, if he loses tonight, can look back upon 5 world titles, right? Rene Dupree, this is his moment, right? And if he misses out on it, he may never get another one again.
Yeah, that was something I was going to bring up. I'm like, being something that happens every 4 years, what's the length of a typical professional wrestler's career? Like, I want to be generous and maybe say 10.
15?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
10? Okay.
Like, I was going to be generous and say 10. That's twice. You got 2 shots at it. If you want to go 15, what, is that still 3? Like, is that maybe a 4th that sneaks in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we talked a lot about age and about opportunity and moments, and I think it's fitting that our main event tonight now is sort of youth versus experience.
yeah,
We've got Booker T.
19-year difference.
Yeah.
A a alcohol drinking person in most countries is the difference between Renee Sebastian Dupree and Booker T. That's
Crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's incredible.
We've got our panel back here. Amy Weber, Steve Austin, Taz run down.
They go through basically what we were talking about. While
Yep.
Edge is surprisingly quiet on the edge of the panel, and they go to him and ask him what he thinks.
And Edge says, "You think I care? You think I care about any of this? You think this matters to me? You think some paper mache Burger King crown means anything to me? No." Steve Austin's like, "What, son? This is a prestigious tournament. The fuck are you talking about, you dumb fuck?"
It launched your career.
Yeah. And Edge could be like, "King of the Ring never did anything for me. The real launch pad was Money in the Bank." And I'm
Or maybe. I want to edit that a little bit because I like the idea that maybe he mentions Money in the Bank, but he doesn't say it like that because to him, he did it for himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Money Bank gave me the opportunity, but it was me who launched my career.
Yeah, yeah. And every night, I'm there. Every night that I go to sleep, because it's not all nights. But every night that I go to sleep, I'm there. January 4th, 5th, whatever the hell it would have been.
Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, I'm there on that night with John Cena's body in front of me, holding the WWE Championship. It's all I want. It's all I need. It's been 8 months. I need my baby back. This whole tournament has just been one long con job to hold off and to hold out on the fact that I am inevitable and I'm coming for it all. We've got our match of the tournament highlights. We have 3 candidates for match of the tournament. These are high-profile matches who are also very much loved by our fans. They've got some importance to the whole layout of the whole thing. What are our candidates here, Puddy?
Booker T taking on Rey Mysterio, an important match where, again, this was the match that Booker demanded happen.
Holler!
Mere days after the Punjabi prison. We've got Booker versus Chavo, which is the match that got Booker here to the semifinals in the end, and John Cena Triple H, the final match for the Raw Conference. John Cena's victory meant that Rene Dupree made it through. So big matches for both of our finalists here.
Indeed. Moving forward, we've got the panel back together, and this time they're joined by Gregory Helms' coach. I guess that's it. That's the only thing we confirmed know about them. I guess I wouldn't call them friends at this point. Maybe co-workers. Ken Shamrock. What's he got to say?
They ask him how, what's the overall impression of the tournament? Are they disappointed? Are they happy? And Ken's gonna say, look, at the start of this partnership, we set some goals. We wanted to improve. We wanted to see genuine improvement. We wanted to win 5 matches, and we went beyond that. We had a lot of setbacks along the way. Greg had a lot of setbacks along the way, and I think the way he dealt with them was exquisite. The kid's mental is fantastic. He's got a great mind to perform and exceed, and that's good. I think he has taken some hits, but he's reacted really well to them. Like I said, we were hoping to get five wins, kind of good showing. To get here to the semifinals was something we're very proud of. To compete at that level is something we're very proud of. I think Greg's has a bright future. I think he's gonna continue to improve, and who knows what that future holds for him. But I definitely think he's proven throughout this tournament that the sky is the limit. And then Austin can ask, is the relationship going to continue beyond King of the Ring? And Shamrock can say, listen, that's those are conversations we can have over the coming days and weeks. Right now, I hope the focus is just on the accomplishments of Gregory Helms, but also, let's not take away from the fact that we have a main event still here, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Backstage, Maria has the match of the tournament award, and she is here with Triple H to present it to Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels is like, oh, I did it. I did it. He holds up the trophy.
I can beat you, Undertaker.
I did it. Yeah. Maria's like, Shawn, how does it feel to have won match of the tournament for your phenomenal performance versus John Cena? Shawn's like, John is a tremendous opponent. He's one of the toughest. I'm just glad I got to beat him. I'm just glad that I righted the wrongs and became the king of the ring. That's really what this is all about, right? And yeah, and Triple H to just be like, the fuck are you guys talking about? Give me my damn trophy. The fuck?
I like that. And he leaves in a sulk with the trophy in his hands. And then Shawn can be like, what's up with that guy?
What's up with that guy? And then he's like, wait, he took my trophy. Hunter, no. Hunter, come back. Backstage, Josh Matthews is about to get some reactions from a couple of the people we've got floating around backstage. And, that's John Cena. Never mind. That's not just somebody floating around backstage. Hi, John. How are you doing? And John apologizes to Josh Matthews. What happened in the ring earlier, that short answer, the whole awkwardness, the whole thing, it just felt wrong to let it sit on that. If there's any questions, he'll happily answer them. I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Just what are your thoughts and feelings on the tournament and the main event?
Yeah, I'd imagine John Cena would say something like, both the guys in the final obviously deserve it. It's really unfortunate to go 8-0 and then to be cut down in the first single elimination match, but somebody's got to lose. Somebody's got to win. It's just the nature of the sport. It's a 50-50 every time, no matter what the numbers tell you. Anything can happen on any given night in the WWE, am I right?
Mm.
This is the main event next, is it?
I think we get a 1 minute angle before the main event, whatever it is. Unless I'm crazy. But
this
also
is a different thing. Yeah, Johnny Ace knocks on the RSD camp locker room, and out comes Paul Heyman. He says things.
And he can say, Johnny, I've been telling you from the start of the tournament. I've been telling you since the start of the year. I've been telling you for even earlier than that.
Johnny's like, Paul, we're not even on the same show. This is the first time I've seen you in literal years. Wait, we are on the same show. What the fuck? This is very confusing.
Is a superstar. You want to know how I know? Because I can spot talent. Because I see things in people that other people don't see. And slowly but surely, everybody has been waking up to how good Rene Sebastian Dupree is. And tonight, he is going to be undeniable when he claims the king of the ring.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the line I'm going to get. I always pick the winning horse. Yeah. I always pick the winners.
We've got the four main people from the different panel segments. We've got our last minute predictions. Booker T, Rene Sebastian Dupree. Who the hell is taking this one?
Austin's going with Booker, the experience to win out in a 2-1.
Yeah, he's
very
fought
tight
Booker
affair
before too. Yeah, that's a tough guy.
Lawler, of course, is going to back the Raw guy, Rene Dupree. But he thinks it's going to be a straight 2-0 set because Booker has been through a lot in this tournament, and he's just going to be too tired to be able to take the fight to the young, energetic, and excellent Rene Dupree. And what about Taz? What does Taz think, Tucker?
You know what, guys? I don't really know what's going to happen tonight. I'll be honest. It's not very often.
The fans are really behind Booker T.
The fans are really behind both of these guys. But I think above all else, I think this is good.
Excellent.
And the main event. 90.
Yeah,
Let's go, guys.
good job, boys.
Let's
good
go.
job.
He did it.
Exactly as Austin said he would too.
He's the toughest guy, apparently. I mean, Austin said he's a tough son of a bitch, and absolutely, he lost the first fall. And then
He's been down in this tournament before. He's been here before.
I think there's two large things coming out of this. Oh my god, my face cam is like freaking out. I'm very sorry, everybody. We won't go much longer. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's two things I think of immediately. Oh my god, my face cam is really freaking out. I'm literally gonna
just turn it off.
I'm gone for a minute. Sorry, everybody. There's two things that I come out of this with. One, Booker T obviously is the king of the ring. Holy shit. Second of all, Renee was up 1-0.
Yep.
He was right there. He was right there.
You can bet in that second fall, Renee had Booker in a Loire Valley clutch, and he was seconds away from being the youngest ever king of the ring.
That's crazy stuff. But Booker T does it. He is the king of the ring.
He's going to SummerSlam to fight for a world championship.
That he is. Which world champion will he choose? Our two world champions currently are Rob Van Dam and Shelton Benjamin. Rob Van Dam has a title defense tomorrow against Orlando Jordan, so this could all change. Whole conversation could change.
I mean, Booker's on SmackDown. He's wanted to fight Shelton for a while. But Booker's got so much history with RVD and Orlando Jordan.
And
so
listen. To a certain degree, Discord is trying to access your webcam. Wow, what the fuck is going on with this shit today?
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree, if Orlando Jordan becomes WWE champion, is there not a certain intelligence to picking him over somebody established like Shelton?
No, I understand what you're saying, and I can entertain the argument, but I don't like the implication. If Orlando Jordan gets the job done tomorrow, we have to respect that he's in a hell of a position. He's in a hell of a way, because I mean, unless something crazy happens, and you know, Rob Van Dam gets a freak injury or something, RVD's on a hell of a roll. He beat John Cena inside the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh yeah, no.
If OJ gets the job done, look, Shelton Benjamin, generational talent, but Booker beat him during this tournament, I believe.
He did, yeah.
So, did he actually? I want to just confirm that before we...
I have absolutely no clue. I just said yes.
Booker and him had now I've got the notes up. I guess it doesn't matter because it's your recording. SmackDown, Booker versus Shelton. He did. Booker did beat him during this tournament. So, you know, you want to put an argument there. You underestimate OJ. You head over there. You think he's the weaker competitor. You're heading into the unknown to a Raw brand as well. You know, Booker's gotten comfortable here on SmackDown. Look, these are questions that are going to be answered on twitch.tv/MattSundara.
Very much so, indeed. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Don't fucking worry about it. Don't fucking worry about it, buddy. Don't fucking worry about it. Listen, the crowd might have been a little upset about some ratio shit, because that's exactly what I do. When I sit down to watch a wrestling show, I'm like, 80% of this was not wrestling. I'm fucking pissed, bro. They got the ratio all fucked up. It's like, okay. Okay, game. What? No, it's cool. It's cool.
I wasn't expecting it to be that bad.
I partially was, but also like it's pretty fucking funny to see it.
I thought it was gonna be like 80.
Who do you want to talk to?
The main eventers.
Yeah.
And Greg Helms, I think.
Book.
Or maybe Austin. Because
thanks, Steve.
You know, he did a lot of shit on this show.
Thank you, Steve. We'll give Renee a hug, and then just tell Booker he's awesome.
Yeah. Make sure you show the fine people our credits.
Yep, I will. I'm just going to run through this. Booker seemed pleased. Renee seemed pleased. Steve Austin seemed pleased. There's our credits up on the screen right now. Thank you all so much for your support, whether continued or not. Um, yeah, that does it for another episode. Episode 39, I think this was. Next time we see you will be episode 40.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah, that's a big one, certainly. We'll see you there next time. And yeah, Booker T's King of the Ring. This, I guess, starts the reign of King T. I don't know.